Have you ever wondered why some people give up after just a few failures, while others keep pushing forward despite failing over and over again? What makes them different? The answer doesn't lie in natural talent, background, or luck. The key factor is their mindset. Successful people don't see failure as the end of the road. They see it as a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey toward success. This is the essence of the 99 failures, 1 success rule, a powerful mindset that allows you to embrace failure, learn from it, and keep moving forward until you finally achieve your goal. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It simply means you haven't reached success yet. History has repeatedly proven this principle. The most successful people in the world aren't those who have never failed. They are the ones who have failed countless times, but never gave up. Thomas Edison conducted over 10,000 experiments before inventing the light bulb. Walt Disney was rejected numerous times before building his entertainment empire. The greatest athletes in the world have endured countless losses and injuries, yet they kept training relentlessly to reach the top. So how can you develop this resilient mindset? How do you turn 99 failures into the foundation for one massive success? Let's dive into the key strategies to help you build mental toughness, persevere through challenges, and achieve your dreams. 1. The truth about success. It never happens overnight. When we look at highly successful people, millionaire entrepreneurs, world-renowned artists, groundbreaking scientists, we often admire their achievements without truly understanding the years of struggle, setbacks, and relentless effort that paved their way to success. We see the finished masterpiece, but rarely acknowledge the countless failed attempts behind it. Society tends to glorify success while downplaying the failures that precede it. However, behind every major accomplishment is a long history of perseverance through adversity. Consider these real-life examples. Thomas Edison conducted more than 10,000 failed experiments before finally inventing the light bulb. If he had given up after a few hundred attempts, the world might have remained in darkness for much longer. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, was rejected 30 times from various jobs and business opportunities before creating one of the largest e-commerce platforms in the world. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, faced 12 rejections from publishers before her book series became a global phenomenon. Now imagine if these individuals had given up early. If Edison had decided that 100 failures were enough, if Jack Ma had taken rejection as a final verdict, if J.K. Rowling had accepted that her book was not good enough, the world would have never seen these incredible contributions. Success is never a straight path, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. It is built on a foundation of trial, error, and continuous learning. The biggest mistake people make is believing that if something doesn't work immediately, it's not meant to be. The reality is this: success is often just beyond the point where most people quit. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is not talent or luck. It is the willingness to keep going despite repeated failures. Key lesson: every failure brings you one step closer to success. If you give up too soon, you'll never realize how close you are to achieving something great. Instead of seeing failure as a stop sign, see it as a stepping stone. Keep pushing forward, and you may just be one attempt away from your breakthrough moment. 2. Why do most people give up after a few failures? Success stories are everywhere, yet what people often don't talk about are the countless failures that came before them. Many individuals give up after experiencing only a few setbacks, not because they are incapable of success, but because they don't know how to handle failure properly. There are several common reasons why people quit too soon. Fear of judgment. One of the biggest reasons people abandon their dreams is their fear of how others will perceive their failures. They worry that their friends, family, or colleagues will see them as incompetent, incapable, or even foolish for trying. The thought of public embarrassment can be overwhelming, and rather than risk looking like a failure, many people prefer to quit before they even get too far. However, what most don't realize is that people are too busy worrying about their own lives to care about your failures. In reality, those who judge you are often the ones who have never dared to take risks themselves. The opinions of others will not determine your success, your persistence will. Inability to handle disappointment. Many people expect success to come quickly. They start with enthusiasm, full of hope and motivation, but when things don't go their way after the first few attempts, they begin to lose faith in themselves. They become frustrated, discouraged, and eventually decide that maybe success is just not meant for them. But success is not about immediate gratification. It is a test of endurance, patience, and resilience. Those who succeed are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are simply the ones who can keep moving forward despite disappointments. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, refine your approach, and come back stronger. The all or nothing mentality. Some people believe that if they don't succeed right away, it must mean they're not good enough or that they're not meant to succeed in that particular field. They think in extremes: either they achieve instant success or they see themselves as complete failures. This mindset is incredibly dangerous because it prevents people from seeing failure for what it truly is, a stepping stone toward success. No one masters a skill, builds a business, or achieves greatness overnight. The most successful people in the world failed repeatedly before reaching their goals, but they never let those failures define them. The truth about failure: it's a part of the process. Failure does not mean that you are not good enough. It simply means that you are learning, growing, and refining your approach. Every failure brings you one step closer to success, provided that you take the lessons it offers. Instead of seeing failure as something to fear, start viewing it as valuable feedback. Each mistake reveals something new about your strategy, your skills, and even about yourself. Those who embrace failure and learn from it are the ones who ultimately succeed. Key lesson: if you accept failure as an unavoidable part of the journey, you will stop fearing it. The only real failure is giving up too soon. If you can develop the ability to persist through setbacks, adapt, and keep moving forward, then success is inevitable. 3. The 99 failures, 1 success, rule the secret of the unbreakable mindset. Success is rarely the result of a single perfect attempt. Instead, it is built upon a long series of failures, mistakes, and lessons learned along the way. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't lies in their ability to embrace failure as a necessary part of the journey. One of the most powerful mindsets you can develop is the 99 failures, 1 success. Rule: the idea that failing repeatedly does not mean you are incapable, but rather that you are on the right path. Those who eventually succeed are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who refuse to let failure stop them. Failure is just data, not a definition of who you are. Most people view failure as a reflection of their worth. They take it personally, believing that failing at something means they are not good enough, not talented enough, or simply not meant to succeed. This mindset is what keeps people stuck. In reality, failure is nothing more than a neutral piece of information. It tells you what didn't work. That's all. It does not define your potential or your ability to succeed in the future. The most resilient people understand this. They don't see failure as the end of the road. They see it as valuable feedback. Ask yourself the right questions. Instead of dwelling on failure and letting it crush your confidence, shift your mindset and start treating it as a learning experience. Every time you fail, ask yourself, what exactly went wrong? What part of my strategy needs improvement? What can I do differently next time? What have I learned from this that I didn't know before? By analyzing your failures in this way, you transform them from obstacles into stepping stones. Each mistake becomes a lesson that brings you closer to success. The power of reframing failure. Imagine two people who experienced the exact same failure. One person says, "I failed because I'm not good enough," and they give up. The other says, "I failed because my approach was wrong. I'll try again with a new strategy." Who do you think will eventually succeed? The answer is obvious: the person who refuses to let failure define them. The greatest achievers in history did not succeed because they avoided failure, but because they learned from it. If you can train yourself to see failure as nothing more than a temporary result, rather than a permanent judgment on your abilities, you will unlock an unstoppable mindset. Failure only wins if you stop trying. Turning 99 failures into the launchpad for one success. Failure is often seen as something to be feared, avoided, or even ashamed of. But what if, instead of resisting it, we embraced it as an essential part of success? The reality is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is the foundation upon which success is built. Every mistake, every setback, and every rejection contain valuable lessons that, if used wisely, can propel you forward. The key lies in how you respond to failure. Instead of seeing it as proof that you are incapable, view it as a stepping stone toward mastery. Below are 3 powerful ways to transform failure from an obstacle into a catalyst for success. 1. Learn from failure. Don't just repeat the same mistakes. There's a big difference between failing and learning from failure. Some people go through life making the same mistakes over and over, never improving because they never analyze what went wrong. Others take the time to reflect, adjust their strategy, and approach the challenge differently next time. The secret to turning failure into success is not simply trying again, it's trying again in a smarter way. Each time you fail, ask yourself, what specific action led to this outcome? Was it a lack of preparation, a poor strategy, or an external factor? What could I have done differently? How can I apply this lesson in my next attempt? By treating failure as a teacher, not an enemy, you ensure that every setback is a stepping stone toward improvement. 2. Develop a long-term mindset. Success is a process, not a destination. One of the biggest reasons people give up after failing a few times is because they expect instant results. They assume that if they don't succeed right away, they never will. This mindset is a trap. True success is never an overnight achievement. It is a result of consistent effort over a long period of time. Every great inventor, entrepreneur, or artist you admire has likely spent years, sometimes decades, facing rejection, making mistakes, and refining their craft before they finally succeeded. A long-term mindset means understanding that every failure is just one step in a much larger journey. Setbacks are temporary, but progress is permanent if you keep moving forward. Patience and persistence matter more than raw talent or luck. If you commit to playing the long game, failure will no longer discourage you. Instead, it will become just another part of your journey to success. 3. Use failure as motivation. Each setback brings you closer to victory. Most people see failure as a reason to quit, but the most successful individuals in the world use failure as fuel. Instead of letting it break their spirit, they allow it to ignite their determination. Every time you fail, remind yourself, this is proof that I am trying. This is evidence that I am on the path. The more I fail, the closer I get to success. Failure is not a sign that you should stop. It's a sign that you are growing, evolving, and pushing yourself beyond your limits. Think of each failure as a countdown, not a setback. If success is guaranteed after 100 attempts, then every failure is simply another step closer. The only way to truly fail is to give up before reaching the final step. Final thought: you don't need to avoid failure, you just need to keep going. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid failure at all costs, but in doing so, they also avoid progress, growth, and ultimately success. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it. Welcome. Use it. Because in the end, it's not the failures that define you, it's what you do after them. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones never stopped trying. So keep going. Your breakthrough could be just one more attempt away. Conclusion: will you give up or become unstoppable? Success is not reserved for those who never stumble. It belongs to those who refuse to stay down. Every great achievement in history has been built on a foundation of countless failures. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It is the ability to persist when others would have given up. When you experience failure, you have two choices: let it define you and walk away, or use it as fuel to keep moving forward. The reality is that 99 failures mean nothing if you have the resilience to push through to the 100th attempt. Each setback is simply a lesson, a stepping stone toward your eventual breakthrough. So, will you be the person who surrenders after a few disappointments, letting fear and doubt dictate your future? Or will you be the one who embraces failure as part of the journey, knowing that every misstep brings you closer to success? The path is never easy, but those who refuse to quit are the ones who ultimately rise above. The choice is yours. Keep going, and success will be waiting on the other side. Conclusion: will you give up or become unstoppable? Success has never been about luck, talent, or intelligence alone. It has always belonged to those who possess the unshakable will to keep moving forward despite obstacles, rejections, and failures. The road to success is not paved with ease. It is littered with setbacks, disappointments, and seemingly insurmountable challenges. But for those who persist, who refuse to let failure define them, the reward is always worth the struggle. Think about the greatest innovators, athletes, and leaders in history. What do they all have in common? It's not that they never failed, it's that they never allowed failure to be their final chapter. They saw every setback as a stepping stone, every rejection as a lesson, and every obstacle as an opportunity to grow stronger. The truth is, most people never reach their full potential, not because they aren't capable, but because they stop trying too soon. They experience a few failures and assume that success is out of reach, when in reality, they were likely only a few steps away from their breakthrough. So, ask yourself, will you let temporary failure define your destiny, or will you rise above it? Will you be the person who gives up after a few attempts, or will you be the one who keeps going, knowing that every failure is simply another step toward inevitable success? Failure is not the end, it is the beginning of something greater. Every setback you face is proof that you are on the right path. Each misstep teaches you something valuable. The only true failure is giving up before you reach your destination. If you are willing to keep pushing forward, adapting, and learning, then success is not a matter of if, it is only a matter of when. The journey will not be easy, but it will be worth it. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is your willingness to endure, to persist, and to rise after every fall. The greatest rewards in life are reserved for those who have the courage to keep going when others have given up. So take a deep breath, embrace the challenge, and move forward. Because success is not found in the absence of failure, it is found in the determination to keep trying despite it. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think. Now, the choice is yours. Will you stop, or will you become unstoppable?
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.